ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is a market scan brought to you by TRADERCOBB and FTX. And if you haven't got your FTX trading account, you can get 10% off your trading fees by clicking on the link in the description below. And you can also find all that you need to get yourself trading by visiting TRADERCOBB.com, which is also in the link below, and getting started with our Become a Trader course. Never has it been more opportunistic to be a trader as when we have a bear market. Why? Well, the reason being is that throughout all of this, you can make money. And if you decide to have it converted into USD, which is typically what we do, then you have stable coins on the sideline so that you can, at some stage, if you wish to do so, add to your investment portfolio. So taking profits from the market as a trader and putting them into your investment portfolio at these very discounted prices. I say discounted because, of course, price was at 69,000 and now it's at 21,300. Now, of course, there has been an awful lot of talk about where to go next. Where do we see the market moving to? And I wanted to just sort of talk to you about that a little bit here, because I can see that there is the potential for further downside. Now, of course, we have seen, first of all, the lunar fiasco, we'll call it, and UST, which sent shockwaves through the market, and this is what this was through here during that period of time. Then we saw a large period of consolidation throughout the next sort of, 3 to 4 weeks, followed now by a lower high set by the daily, and now, of course, a lower low there on that daily. Now, we've seen Celsius also come into question about its liquidity. And g'day, Matty. I'm doing very well, thank you. With its in question with its liquidity, and I really hope they are able to save that, because it would be devastating to see yet again more retail investors wiped out. Excuse me. So Celsius is certainly, from what I understand, have been pedaling quite hard to keep themselves liquid, and they've been doing that. And if we do see Celsius fall apart, we are going to see another major run on the markets, and that would be something quite catastrophic, I would imagine. Now, where is support on Bitcoin? Well, to be absolutely truthful with you, there is not a great deal around. And for this, I'll have to go to a chart that has more data to show this to you. Have a look through here. This is a level I put in during, well, I think it was the last couple of days, actually. This was the height of our 2017 bull market. That was the height there around that $20,000 mark. We have since come back up and tested that throughout that run that we had throughout, the last big move to our all-time highs originally. We found some resistance there. We tapped on that level at all-time high again, and we went straight through it onto essentially more than doubling in price over a very, very short period of time. That, to me, as there are two tests of that level and a round number of 20,000, is adding to the reason why I see that as becoming the only level of support that I can see for quite some time. Now, if I then just jump out to the weekly, what else have we got? Well, for those that have been following me and working with me for quite some time, you'll recall this candle back here in, when was that, September? Yeah, September of 2020. That was the weekly bullish candle in the cradle for which I was suggesting potentially good things to come. It was after our COVID crash back in the March period of 2020, where, of course, we hit those lows of 3,800, low of 3,600, 3,559 is to be precise, 3,596. And then from there we climbed, and we climbed up. This was the first real pullback for a higher low, and what I was looking for, there was a little higher low through here. This was the first clear pullback for a tradable higher low, and of course, what we saw from there was what was the potential to make a great deal of money, but only if you took your profits. I was talking taking profits here, I was talking taking profits here, and I hope you did, because it means that you're going to be in a much more comfortable position as we see this carnage unfold. But don't be surprised, as this is what cryptocurrency does. The reason I love this market is for this very reason. A, it's cyclical. The halving events seem to be a fairly good indicator of when we might see some action coming back, as it's worked very, very well in the past as an indicator for a longer term portfolio hold perspective. Two, the volatility on the way up we all cheer for. The volatility on the way down tends to be a lot of people screaming, and I understand that. A lot of people don't have control of their emotions. They don't have plans. They didn't take profits. They don't trade. So that's all they can do is basically just scream and shout and be upset and disappointed. But this volatility on the way up also happens on the way down. And you knew that. I knew that. We have all known that because volatility is the reason that we are here. Now, this pullback now, it's been a very, very steep one. We've got ourselves in all sorts of a mess when we look at the monthly chart as well. Have a look here. It's been quite some time since we've been in a monthly downtrend. As a matter of fact, when the monthly downtrend, the last time there was a monthly downtrend, it was during that COVID crash where we had this lower high and we pushed to this lower low. From there, we rose very, very well at a very, very, very quickly. It was wonderful. Now, we are seeing a lower high here in the monthly chart, and since we've seen a very large decline for this month, 33%, the month before 15%, and the month before that was 17%. So we have seen already a significant pullback of Bitcoin. Now, there's a couple of things to consider. Yes, $20,000 Bitcoin, it may hold. Excuse me. But the reality is, if we do see something break or fall apart or not work, I'm talking Celsius or anything else that might be bubbling away in the background that we're not yet aware of, we may have the potential to get all the way back down to 12. Why 12? Well, again, down here there is a little bit of it was resistance. You can see it's not an exact region. Around this region here, we saw some resistance come through, tested it a few times. It did break, admittedly, so it's not a perfect level of resistance, but there is some form of resistance that was there which can act as support coming up. Now, that might seem like a long way away, and it might seem like it is not achievable, but do not think that markets can't go lower, because one thing I teach in my course is that markets can and will go lower than you think. Markets can and will go higher than you think as well. So don't think, plan and act accordingly. We're down now 4% on Bitcoin. Questions come through. Thoughts on SEC launching investigation into exchanges insider trading? Oh, that's the first I've heard of it. Gensler said in May exchanges were trading against their customers. Okay, well, that doesn't really surprise me. I'm not suggesting that they are doing that, but it wouldn't surprise me if that information did come out, as it is something that has been done for ions. It happens all the time. And again, that's partly, one of the reasons it's built my trading strategies to be about following trends, okay? How that unfolds, I simply do not know. We do not have enough information just yet as they're talking about launching the investigation, but I will be watching that with very, very open eyes. Across our top 10, we are down now, and there was a number of breakout trades for those that were in the community. I got a video out that have been setting up. Whether they have broken or not, I think some of them will have, but it's now about trying to find some cradle trades, as that's what we teach here when it comes to this FTX content. Now, what do we got on Bitcoin? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Simple as that. We need now to see this trend get some cyclicity and some convergence, which means it naturally needs to fall further. And until it does that, it's not going to be of interest to me. We're going to jump right across now into our perpetual trading list, and we're going to see just what we have available. Now, as 1 inch does start to go through that support, we didn't have convergence on that break, but if we do start to get at these levels, will be pullback points at which I can look for trades if we do break down properly and pull back into for cradles. I'm not putting it in the list yet because it's not yet ready for that. What I want to see are trends that are already in motion, that are already in play, that I can start to take advantage of. Nothing there on AVE just yet. Cardano has set a new lower high and a new lower low, but it needs to run further away. And when I talk of cyclicity, what I mean is something like this, where we pull back in, move away, pull back in, move away. I want to see nice charts with good trends that are predictable. And whilst we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, we've got to move further here on Cardano, and that next pull back in would be the opportunity I'll be waiting for. So I'm going to be looking to see if there are any markets that have already made that leg down that can open up opportunities for a pullback in the coming hours. And I am focusing here on the 1 hour chart. The reason that I am focusing on the 1 hour chart is quite simply that if you look at the 4 hour, a lot of them are a mess and not many pulled back in, like this did pull back in, but not many have been pulling back in politely and with good cyclicity. So my only options really are to move to the lower time frames, for which I'll be focusing on high liquidity markets to take away some of the risk of slippage that you may take on board if we do see a sudden pushback up in the market. So it's always about managing risk. So if we look at Ampleforth here, this did come up in my scan this morning as well. Not the greatest on the 4 hour. And if you jump to the 8, what you'll note is that we were working our way back in, but there is no downtrend. So there's nothing there for me on ample forth at this stage. It does look as though, as far as I'm concerned, that we're going to need to see further downside, which is what we're starting to see come in right now, with Bitcoin nearly down 5% again. That further push lower is going to open these trends up, give them cyclicity, and that next pullback is what I'll be looking to trade, to go short, that is. I'm not looking to buy, I'm looking to enter the trend by going short. So just looking for good trends on this 1 hour time frame that I can potentially take advantage of. Now, AXI, let me just check that too. Yes, there are 2 lower highs. The moving averages are in the correct order as per the cradle trading strategy. I'm going to make a list that's going to be blue. The reason I've put AXI in is that it has very clear lower highs, and it has actually cleared these lows quite nicely. So it won't take too much more movement to the downside for that to open itself up with these averages, and therefore potentially, open up for trades. The 30-minute does not look very good. It is the 1 hour that is of interest. And I'm going to stay with the 1 hour until I see a reason to move away from the 1 hour time frame, simply because I know the dailies are downtrending, and I know that the 4 hours are not all that good right now. I know that because I've done a couple of scans today, you see. Okay, BAT's a mess here too, still consolidating. Yes, it's coming off, but there's nothing to work with. I'm looking for trend a little bit here, but it's a high to a low, so I've got to eliminate it. BitDAO is coming off again, needs to extend itself a little bit further. Will we have a 2 hour downtrend? Little tiny pullback there. Not the most liquid market, and what happens in illiquid markets is you get these big spikes, and those big spikes can take us out of our trades, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go past BitDAO. Binance with the lower highs coming in, it does need to move itself further down. So what I'm suggesting from what I'm seeing so far is that for the most part, we're going to have to keep an eye on this market. If it does start to fall another few more percent, that's when we're going to have to go through and do another scan. Why? Because that's when we're going to have these downtrends really are starting to open themselves up for pullbacks. And it's the pullback with the little bearish candle in that cradle zone that I am after. Too thin there, not enough trend. Cake. Okay, Cake's looking a little bit better here. Lower high to lower low with convergence. I'll jump to the 30 and see just how that looks. It doesn't look amazing on the 30. I do not mind it on the 1 hour, given that we are starting to step down quite nicely. It won't take much longer or much more downside for that to be open for a pullback for a cradle. So that's going to go into the list. And that's how I'm thinking, right? Live trading floors where I do this 5 days of the week, and it just allows you to have that access to seeing exactly how I trade. When I look at these charts here, I am looking for cradles only, not the boosters and not the breakouts, which is what we teach in the course. To be on live trading floor, you must have done the Become a Master course. Okay, so we don't want to holding anybody up who's already, who's done the learning. Cello. It's not really that clear, and one of my rules, if it's not clear, it's not there. That might come up later on. Of course, Celsius had an enormous run up. That's a 1 hour candle that did 161%. In fact, in the space of those 2 candles to our peak, come on, I'll just do it from the higher low here. Make it easy for me. We were up 3.5x. Very quick move, and as you can see, it's already has come off an additional 18% today, but from the high, it has come off 57 or 58%. When I see a market like this that is in turmoil, that is in wild town, think back to Luna, ladies and gentlemen. I don't trade when it's that out of control, because you really don't know. Yes, you can get lucky and you can make some very good money. However, reality needs to be drawn from the Luna fiasco, going and buying Luna when it was falling, even when it was at $1. It didn't turn out very well. So please try and make sure that you don't impulse your way into markets that are being talked of. You're much better finding trends and sticking with them. Chromium needs to leg down further, then it opens up possibly later on. The same can be said for Chili's. Clover, big spike there. I'm happy to leave that. It's too messy. Again, another one with compound needs to drive lower. Then we've got opportunity that may present itself later on. Convergence there as well. Nothing for me to touch. It's also a very thinly traded market. And as I've already suggested, I'll be sticking to the higher liquidity plays. Crow needs to come off further to get that trend really moving. So does CRV. Civic has a level of support right there, and that level of support has now been taken out. We have a lower high, we have a lower low, but what we need now is we need to drive further to the downside. I will have a quick look at the 15. Unfortunately, we go straight from high to low with no trend involved, so therefore I can't do anything with that right now. Convex still has support here, but there is no trend. Dash needs to drive itself lower, as does much of the market. Dawn is a very ugly looking chart right there. We've got DeFi with equal highs through here. It needs to drive itself lower. Dent is doing it with a lower high to a lower low, but again, we need to see a further extension to the downside. Dodo, I can very easily leave. It's a messy chart. Doge, there are lower highs in here. We need to see a lot more falling. There were plenty of good low time frame shorts on Luna when it was dying. Yes, I'm sure that there were. For me, it was I didn't jump onto that, and maybe I could have, and maybe I could have done very well. Oops. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. There is no mute button for me here either, so hopefully you weren't listening to headphones when I did that. Oh, my apologies. Wow. Yeah, the thing is that what happened with Luna as well is there was multiple times where it shot straight back up, and that would have taken out stops with potentially devastating slippage. When I look at markets like that, I look at the risk, not the reward. I look at the potential risk associated, and yes, the same sort of thing when it comes to these staking projects where you can put your money in and get 8% or whatever it may be. I've never felt comfortable with that. And again, it's the only reason behind that is because it's not in my control. I am at the mercy of the company that I am staking with. Therefore, with something like Celsius, when they lock the withdrawals, it ain't my money anymore. It's a thing that I always focus on, and that is risk management. Sure, if I put a wedge of stable coins in, I can get, maybe I can make 70 grand a year. Great, that's fantastic. But at what? That's for putting $1 million at risk for 70,000. It's the wrong side of the trade for me, and I'm glad that I stuck to that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just the way I think things through. It's always about risk preservation, capital preservation and risk management. It would be interesting to hear your views on long-term alt holds. Add to investments while prices are low? ? Yeah, look, it depends. I mean, sure, there are going to be opportunities to pick up projects at very, I won't say cheap because cheap is a cheap word, but at a far lower price point than what they have been trading at. If you're going to be looking at buying and investing into alts, you need to be very, very certain that they are going to be able to weather this storm and come back from it. My perspective and where I've been buying, I haven't bought anything yet, I will say that, where I'm looking to buy when the time is right, whenever that may be, will be the larger market caps. Things like I'll be buying more Bitcoin. I'll be buying more Ethereum. I'll probably be buying more DOT, Solana, the layer ones that have already proven themselves to be around and most likely will be around later. I will be managing my risk on each of my purchases as I make them, but I certainly, it is a time for cool heads, not a time of thinking about getting rich. Yes, sure, your alt might have been worth $3 at one stage and now it's worth 3 cents. It does not mean it's going back to $3. So always remember to manage your risk first, because that is the absolute key. Whether you're investing or trading, risk management is the key principle. Bit of a shame here on DOT. The reason I say that is because we do have a nice trend. That candle's just getting a bit big and there's still 3 hours and 40 to go. And I'm not, it's just too much. It's just, okay, 12 hour. Can't deny that trend. Can't deny that really nice cyclicity. That candle's not small, but it's not massive compared to what we've seen through here. I'm going to pop that into the list, but first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check that daily. Okay, well the daily... It's not the nicest daily chart. I mean, obviously there's momentum to the downside. A little pullback there. We got a couple of candles that have moved back in. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that daily. Bit of just rolling its way out. It's the 12 that, sorry, it's the 8 that would have been okay there because the 16 will back that downtrend up quite nicely with convergence. But jumping to the daily, it kind of muddies the water a little bit as we don't, this is a clear pullback here, but it's actually going from a high to a low now. So with that being the case, I will make the decision here on DOT. I'm not going to put that into my list. It does not have what I need for it to at this stage on those higher time frames. So if it's not clear, it's not there. Dragon's got a lower high. It needs to push better to the downside. DYDX is not trending, excuse me, just yet. Eden very thin. Not interested. Elron's still got a level of support right there. Let's have a quick look at the 4 and the 8. Yeah, I'll probably stick with the support there. We've got a high there, so it's got to come down, test, bounce, and break. So it's not going to make the list just yet. Engine starting to carry some momentum through. Check that 30-minute quickly. Look, I'm going to keep my eye on Engine as it has convergence and it is selling off quite nicely right now. A little bit further and a slow pullback, and there could be a cradle there for later on. ENS is a mess. EOS, no good. Ethereum Classic, it needs to get better cyclicity than what it currently does, as does Ethereum. Another leg down here on Ethereum would be very, very nice indeed. Now, where can Ethereum go to? Well, you heard me speak last week. I spoke on the podcast, I spoke here, I spoke in my videos, I spoke to members, I spoke to everybody about these levels, Bitcoin's level and Ethereum's level. As it turned out, it was just at a time when I was going away for a couple of days, and whilst I was there working, the moves happened at times where I was working on myself, personal development, and I wasn't available for this move. It went ahead as planned, breaking that level and falling very heavily. So where can we go to from here? Well, geez, the floor's a limit. I mean, it's not as nice as saying the sky's a limit. There's definitely some old resistance down there at $490. I would suspect maybe around $637. There's a little bit too. But right now, with the market the way that it is, it's a good time to be looking for shorts and just waiting to see how things calm down. For me, when it comes to my investing as well, I'd much prefer to buy a higher price with conviction than try and pick a bottom. Of course, if you don't want to do either of those two things, then dollar cost averaging is typically a good way of doing so if you have high conviction for that project. Quick jump to the 30-minute here on Phantom. It is definitely trending. Not a huge fan of the 30. The 1 hour I do like a lot, but it needs to leg down further, but I will watch that trend as it is quite nice. And look where it's coming out of. On the 4, a strong pullback in, and now we're rolling back over again. It's always nice to see the higher time frame trend playing out with your lower time frames as well. I can leave that. Gale needs to lose more, needs to fall more. I don't know if we'll have a 2-hour trend there. No, I'm not interested there. GMT, not interesting. That is moving okay. Quick little check of the 30. Graph token. It appears that there is enough liquidity there for us. It's falling quite nice. I'll chuck that in. It's trending well. Again, if the 1 hour falls further, that could be very nice indeed on a pullback. The 30-minute might even present something later on in the afternoon as well. Hedera, nothing of interest. Now, oh, check the 8 hour here. No trend, no interest. On to Holy, still not doing much. Holo's got to move further. We've got a level here on Horby. The level is very divergent on the break, so therefore not a breakout trade. Let's see if we've got any trend moving down. We still don't have convergence. I could look for boosters and cradles into that level if we did have that, but we don't. So the 1 hour, it still has to do a lot. Although there are lower highs, very strong divergence. I won't be trading short into divergence. And sure, I say that, and the market might fall further from there with divergence. I don't care. I stick to my rules. If there's no trade there, I move on. So what we're doing, looking for more trends that have extended. That's too thin there on Kin right now. Ooh, what do we got here on Kyber? It's moved a long way up and out. Just checking what we got here. It's not looking all that flash. I prefer this candle to close up here and then tomorrow to have a little 8-hour candle. But for now, I'm going to leave Kyber. And I'm not looking for longs here either, despite the fact there's a 1-hour uptrend. There is a lot more selling pressure. There is a lot more downward momentum available at the moment than upward momentum. Nearly all of my trades, and I say nearly all because there might be something that's done something that I would like to long, but I can't see it happening. Most of my trades at the moment and my focus is to the short side for 2 reasons. 1, it becomes somewhat of a portfolio hedge. 2, I also like the idea of making money now on my trades into USD. Therefore, as I said at the very beginning of this, you are then able to, you can convert your profits into longer term holdings if that's what you are interested in doing. Looks rare. How far has that gone lately? A long way. Okay, really nice cyclicity. Pull back in, move. Not a lot of pullbacks, but that's a clear one. That's a clear one. Here's a clear one here. Let's hit that 16. We do, in fact, have a lower high here and a lower high here, so the 16 does match for that 8 if we were to take it, if it were to close small and bearish. Liquidity, how are we looking? We're looking all right. Okay. Looks goes into the list, hopefully. I mean, we've still got 3 hours 33 to go, but if that closes small and bearish, you might have to make a decision on that one. So have your rules close by. Looping, Litecoin, no trend there. Mana needs to extend itself further before I do anything with it. That's a couple of big moves right there. Very thinly traded market, not one for me. Matic, okay, leg down here, lower high, lower low, not convergent yet. Therefore, I need to see it run further, carry that convergence through, and then I might be interested later on. But for now, do more. Too thin, too thin. Mid perp needs to move further. Mina is just basically consolidating. It needs to break that and get some good trend in play. Here's another level that I saw on Maker this morning. It has not set up for a breakout. That means phase 2, let it run away, let it pull back and take the cradle at that point, if we get that. This was in my list this morning too on this little pullback, but it never really came all the way in. Now it's continued to move lower and it is rather thin. If I show it to you here on the 15, you'll note bit of a funny looking chart structure. I'm not interested in that sort of thing. It adds more risk. Meta at a bar, I can leave. Metal, I can leave. Needs to move further on this one, as it does here. Near, starting to run away. I do want to see it move a little bit further to open up this MACD and open up these moving averages. It's not ready for me yet. Neo needs to move further. OKB is just a big mess. OMG is sideways to down. We had 1 test, 2 test, broke through. Now we move to the second phase of the potential opportunity. Every breakout level has opportunities of all 3 strategies, either a Bitcoin breakout, a booster on the pullback, or a cradle. That's what I'll be waiting for, either a booster or a cradle. Either way, we need to move further before the pullback, so it won't go on the blue list just yet. Too thin. Gold, too thin. People, too thin. Too messy. Too messy here. Polis, very thin and not much to work with. PRIV-PERP, starting to run away, but still divergent. Need that convergence to come back to fit the rules. Too thin on Prometheus. Pundi, no trend. QTIM needs to move further. Ramp, a little bit messy. Ray, also not really doing much but consolidating. Another flat level there. Again, we push through, we pull back. Might be good for later. Don't really like it all that much, to be honest. Unless it does more. I can leave Render. Again, we've got the lower highs. We need the lower lows to continue to push through and get that cyclicity back. Ron, I can leave. It's not very nice. Same with Rook. Rose, leave it for now. Looking for those good trends. That cyclicity is everything to me in these times. Need to run away further again. Secret. Serum ecosystem, just too thin for margin for me. Shiba, no. Shit perp, again, lower high, it needs to move further. A lot of this market is very much poised for a larger move to the downside. And if we do get it, that's when I'll be coming back to these lower time frames to see what trends are available for me to trade. Serum. Siren, very thinly traded, no trend to work with there. Same here on Stormex. Storage, no good. Come on, give me a beautiful trend. Give me something really special. Again, we need to run away. I won't say it's frustrating, but it would be nice to see some really, really nice trends in play. You look at this Alien Worlds again, another little lower high, lower high. It needs to run away. Ton is moving. Let's go to the 30. Doesn't look like it's got massive liquidity. It is definitely having a nice little run there, though. Look, I'm going to put that in. I'm not sure if it comes to the raising of the order and there's not enough liquidity for the trade size that I'm after, then of course I won't take that. It carries too much risk. But if it goes a bit further and starts to pull back in, I would like to see what that's about. I haven't traded TON before. True. Nothing there. No, I didn't get any Jai. I think the only one that I'd sort of like was one. Or Harmony, and yeah, didn't quite give me what I was after. So now I am just patiently waiting for the pullback for a cradle or a booster. That's why I really want to see this market move away a bit further to open that up, give it some space to breathe, and then the next pullback, I'll certainly be there with bells on. Oops, I'll go back to Stella. What just happened then? Oh, it just showed a big, yeah, look at that. Just showed it just, I don't know why that did that, but anyway, it's obviously a little trading view glitch because you can't see it anywhere else, just that 1 hour. It wrecks the chart for me, so I got to move past it. Ooh, Monero. That is cliff trending, but pulling back. Look at this. Let's see what time frame is the best match to that. Okay. Yeah, got to keep that level head, Jai. That's the most important asset we've got, mate. We'll get our chances. We'll get our opportunities. We just got to be patient. I'm just bummed that, well, I'm not really that bummed, to be honest. I made a choice. I made a decision. I wanted to work on me over those couple of days, and those couple of days were great for me. So it was, I didn't get to trade, but I got to work on the old noggin, which was good. Okay, so Monero, lower highs, lower lows. I like this on the 30-minute. A pullback into here might actually look really good. Let's just double check the one. It's convergent too. So Monero, with that trend and with that cyclicity, really starting to look the goods here. A clean pullback with the clean bearish candle right there. That might be one of the ones that sets up in the not too distant future. It's almost there now. Well, as far as the trend is ready, I mean. So nothing through here. Needs to move lower again. Zcash needs to move lower. The lower highs are there. It just needs to keep going. Nothing on ZRX. Actually, let me just... Yeah, I'm not interested in that with the divergence as it is. So let's go ahead and have a look at what we've got in our blue list. Very simple plans here, guys. It shouldn't be complicated. Keep it nice and simple, and you should come out the other side able to breathe. What I want to see here with Axie is a further decline, and then the next pullback in for a cradle will be something I will consider. I like the way that PancakeSwap is setting these higher lows, sorry, these lower highs. I need these lows to become more significant so I can also have the space for a pullback and a cradle. Engine coming off quite nicely, needs to move further, and then a potential pullback to 30. That's got to go further. I just need it to fall further. Phantom, same again. Head south, Charlie Brown, move lower, and then we'll pull back. Same here with GRT. The plan is the same across nearly everything, by the way. It's all about those pullbacks. Speaking of pullbacks, looks right here, this bearish candle. If it closes bearish, I'll be very interested. If it moves further in, I'm still interested. It's on the 8 hour, so it will take some time until we get some sort of an answer. We'll wait and see. Toncoin. As it's starting to slide and I'm starting to see a good trend, I will wait and see if we do get an opportunity there, be it on the 30 or be it on the 1 hour. And finally, on to Monero here, which does appear that it has the best cyclicity, the best downward momentum, and the best opportunity or potential opportunity for a cradle pulling back into here. And guys, just remember, if you do like this video, please do share, click the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss it when we do go live. Keep calm, keep safe, manage your risk. And if you'd like to learn how to do all this, description below will get you 10% off your trading fees with FTX, which is more money into your pocket, and you'll also get the opportunity to jump on my free course, Become a Trader. And if you'd like to learn how to trade properly, well, you can spend some money and get the full course with all of the strategies and checklists, plus additional bonuses there as well. Have yourself a great day, and please don't panic, be cool, and importantly, Be nice to people, because there are people hurting, not just because of crypto. A lot's going on in the world right now. Stay safe, keep your head above water, get outside and go for a walk if you're feeling down. Don't listen to Twitter, Facebook. Avoid the chatterboxes, avoid the doom and gloom, and don't forget, it's just a market and you're going to be just fine. Have a great day. I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye for now.